All right. So listen, I just wanted to take full advantage of our wonderful studio. And I want to give a big shout out to Luis Rodriguez for Luis, thumbs up for you.
Luis, we're gonna get you more toys. No worries.
Yes, we're gonna get you more toys. This is a wonderful space that we have. Our realtor partners, our other loan officers here, take advantage of this space, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is fun. I love doing this stuff for not just social media, but really staying informed with a lot of our clients that we serve as well. So Mary Lou and I are just going to kind of chop it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So Mary Lou, what's been going on lately?
It's been busy. I mean,
Okay.
I've been busy. I don't know if you've been busy, but
Yeah.
I've been very busy.
Okay.
And
good.
usually, we're starting to do all these, Instagram things and these videos. When I don't know if it happens to you when I start, filming, I get a little bit like nervous.
Yeah,
so
really?
I need to kind of like shake it.
No. I love it. I love it. Yes, I do get nervous. That's why you won't see the 10th or the 15th take that I do when I have my videos.
Well, usually I don't do fifth, or I just go.
You just go. Okay. Well, excuse me.
Luis.
Professional. Wow.
I mean, I just try to make it natural, like
Right.
I'm having a conversation with someone. And
Okay.
that's why I think, I just don't go based on a script. I just go based on,
Oh, okay.
whatever it is that is going on in my mind. I usually when I'm on my daily life, I think of things that, it would be a good idea to talk about this, or while I'm talking to a client, then a question arises.
Well, same here.
And then I write it down
And
on
you
my
write it down.
notebook.
Absolutely.
And then I say, okay, Luis, we have these 15 things that I'm going to talk about.
Okay, good. And you take it from that point.
Yes, and
All
I
right.
take it from that point.
So, I kind of do the same. Sometimes I'll have something scripted because I don't want to miss out on any points that are, true points that I want to share with the social media folks and the followers and stuff like that. But listen, so we have a wonderful studio, so I just want to kind of get into it and ask you some questions. You said you're busy, you're doing a lot of business. What advice would you give an LO that's just starting in this business? What would be one thing you would tell that LO?
Well, definitely, I would say that number one is to get with lender partner
Yep.
that has your back all the way.
Absolutely.
And definitely, coach up with like a mentor or someone
Okay.
that is very experienced in the business.
Yep,
So
agreed.
basically you can shadow them around the first few months.
Right.
And see how, so that you learn the good and the ugly.
Right, of the business, right?
Yes.
It's not all just glamorous, right? We're not
Yes,
just here looking
correct.
pretty.
No, because and I was talking to Jimena the other day. We did one
Right.
in Spanish because,
And who's
mainly
Jimena?
I do Spanish.
And who's Jimena?
Jimena is our operations manager.
Perfect, good.
And she's the best of the best.
Yes, she is. I
She's
must
my
contest.
little sister, so imagine she,
Okay.
takes it from me,
Well,
of
yeah,
course.
that side of the family. Okay, we'll go with that. Right. So yes.
So we were talking about this.
Uh-huh.
We haven't posted this. I think, maybe by the time this comes out, it's gonna be posted already.
Okay.
So, but it was in Spanish,
Right.
and we were kind of talking about that same thing, like new loan officers or people that have been already in the business. It's very important to have a support team that backs
Absolutely.
you up, because that's really what's gonna make the difference from the competition. You know.
So, to that point, we have a wonderful team here. Jimena Bustamante, and our other folks here as well, and our mother managers. Fabulous team. And I 100% agree with you because, you were recently on vacation, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
I usually take long vacations.
You take long vacations, and so do I. I love taking a great vacation. But I love taking a vacation and knowing that I have a peace of mind where my file is moving forward.
Yes.
I can communicate still, and nothing's going to be a problem at the last minute, right? It's when you have those debacles that happen at the last minute and you're not here, it makes it a little bit more challenging, more difficult. So that's why I really love our team. Shout out to our team again for, when we want to take a vacation and we need to, they can get our back with the file and making sure that file doesn't miss a beat and it's moving along smoothly. So 100% right.
Yeah.
Love that.
And to your point, us as loan officers, and I always tell clients, there's good and bad things as being in being a loan officer. I think one of the bad things is that you cannot really disconnect 100%.
Right.
Like your job is not a 9 to 5 where
Correct.
you just like, clock out, bye,
Right.
see you in 15 days and you forgot about your job, because you have a responsibility to your clients.
Yeah, it
There's
doesn't work
people that
that way.
depend on you.
Yeah.
So it is very important to have a support team back in the office, where they're gonna take care of everything. You still cannot disconnect 100% and go to Fiji and have zero connectivity in your cell phone,
Right.
And forget about the world.
Right.
That's one of the downsides, I guess, of being a loan officer in that sense. But there's a lot of good things, More are the good things than the bad things.
Absolutely. And so that's to that point. You don't want to be a burden, right? You don't want to be a burden. You definitely have to produce, but also be connected to your file still. Whether you have a team that's backing you or not, always be connected to your file.
Yeah.
So that's a great and valid point as well. What else?
Well, I see your shirt.
Yeah, you like that?
Let me see.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
Fresh off the print. DPA master, yes.
And I see you lost some weight.
Oh, thank you for that. That helps.
You look great.
That. I'm going to hopefully try and fill out the shirt a little bit.
We should do walking around the office so we can all see.
One day we will. Give me another 2 months, and I'll be right there. Give me about 2 months, okay? No. So thank you for that. So yes, as many of you probably already know as well, I've done a lot of down payment assistance programs out there. And we have a new program that we were talking about before we got on. And that is a program through Miami-Dade County. Miami-Dade County just recently rolled out their down payment assistance program. And a buyer, first-time home buyer, can get up to $35,000 in assistance towards their down payment and closing costs. So that's one of the big programs I'm kind of pushing right now. And the wonderful, wonderful thing about it is there is no sales price cap.
Well,
many of the programs do have that, right?
Yeah, I mean, per my experience, there's a lot of good down payment assistance programs, but and I'm being 100% honest with you. Sometimes I think they're worthless, at least in this point where prices are so high, because majority of them, and correct me if I'm wrong, they limit you on how much the purchase price of the house can be.
Absolutely.
So in a Miami market where everything is no less than $350,000, how do you help these people that need down payment assistance?
So that's a great point, and that's why I'm so excited about the program that rolled out.
It is a great program,
right?
Yeah.
Without any sales price cap. It is a loan, okay, but it's a deferred interest loan that you do have to pay back sometime before 30 years, okay? But for those individuals, and here's where I think it's really one of the greater programs, because of not having the sales price cap, but also it's in Miami-Dade County, and the sales price limit is very, very high here, right? So what I tell a lot of first-time home buyers, these programs are help to bridge the gap between what you have and what you may need to make the transaction work. And so we'll be talking a lot more about the programs. Why I think it's so beneficial is because once one program does that, and has no sales price cap, then it's like a domino effect, right? And a ripple effect, where you'll have another agency that will say, you know what, why not remove our cap if we're not going to be able to, on a yearly basis, really keep up with those sales price increases, right? So that's what I'm hoping happens with this particular program rolling out. So we'll see.
Now, let me ask you something.
Yes.
Why is it specifically that they put these limits that are unrealistic and they just don't update it as, they should?
Correct.
Why is that?
So that's a great question. And I think some of the programs, not a lot of them, but some of the programs are a little bit disconnected to what's happening in our market when we know that the market shifts so drastically.
Correct.
Okay? And that's what we kind of came off of, and we're still trying to come off of this year. And I think that's been somewhat of the issue. A majority of these funds are coming from government entities and coming from HUD themselves as well, in addition to housing authorities. So their fiscal year is quite different from anything else that might be changing in the market. So we kind of have to wait, have those legislative bodies, if you will, approve those sales prices, and making sure that they're also keeping it really for affordable housing buyers and those low to moderate income families. Because imagine now you open up a program similar to this one, but you open up a program where there is no sales price cap, and you have everybody else that
I
is
get the point.
above the moderate income, right?
It's really to kind of limit for people that really
Absolutely.
are in need
And you
of the
want to
money.
have and you want to have some of that benefit for those that are really low to moderate income buyers that might be still struggling in this market. Yes, sales prices have gone up, but I think there's still some opportunities out there for a first-time home buyer that might be dealing with a program that does have a cap. So it is
Now,
what it is.
let me ask you something else.
Yeah.
Let me see if I formulate this correctly. What would you... Well, let me just do something first. Let me ask you another question.
Okay.
Because I have
Go
so many
ahead.
questions
All
for
right,
you.
good. I love that.
This new program where, there's no pricing cap or they increase the pricing cap, do they also have racial restrictions, debt to income racial restrictions?
Correct. So they're entertaining that now as far as increasing it. It used to be 35-45, but now they're looking to take it up to 40-50. Okay, which, as you know, with the debt to income ratio, and I just did something on that. The lower your debts, right, and the higher your income, the more buying power that you have. Well, your ratio guidelines can also limit that, right? So if you're at 45 compared to going to 50 gives you a little bit more buying power in this market. So they are considering that, and they're also considering not keeping so many restrictions on the actual property or the actual for the borrower, for that matter, meaning that they may very well open it up to just buyers in general and not necessarily having to be a first-time home buyer. So, yeah.
Nice.
We'll see what happens with that. Question for you.
Yeah, of course.
And we're just going to be open and honest here, right? What is your biggest pet peeve about a first-time home buyer or working with a first-time home buyer? Something that's challenging, something that you don't like seeing on a regular basis. Give me it.
So first of all, remember, English is not my strong point.
Okay.
So what is pet peeve?
Pet peeve?
What is that?
Something that you really dislike or you don't like at all. A pet peeve, something that just kind of bothers you or annoys you.
About a first-time home buyer?
About a first-time home buyer's file that you see on a regular basis. I'll give you one.
Oh my goodness. That's a hard question. I mean, it's not something that bothers me. I just think not well in the pre-approval process, assuming a person has already shared with you documentation, because once that's done, every family is a completely different world. So
she's so sweet. Yes.
But
so
what
nice.
it bothers me when dealing with first-time home buyers, and it's usually people that have reached out first, I want to buy a home, whatever.
Okay.
But they, we have the conversation, whatnot, and then these people don't send the paperwork. They just
that's one of mine.
They just kind of stall and say, it's because I'm thinking that maybe I'm not gonna do it now, or I'm gonna buy in the next year.
How bad do you really want it, right?
Exactly. It doesn't go only to how bad you really want it. I mean, it may be a combination psychologically, or they may be afraid, or there's a change of plans. But the reality is, and I try to put this as much in video as I can. When you're buying a home, or it's in your plans to buy a home in the next year, you should get a pre-approval, because the power of the pre-approval is that it's not for you when you're ready to buy next month. It's for you to know where you're standing, and if there's anything that you have to change, you have time to work on it.
Correct. Okay. Well, that's nice, and I get that. That's one of your pet peeves, and we understand pet peeve now. So one of my pet peeves would definitely be a buyer that believes that they can purchase a home with zero money down. Zero money down or zero money out of their pocket. It's unrealistic. It just doesn't happen. So that would be a little bit of a pet peeve for me.
Okay.
And of course, we educate our buyers to say, hey, listen, you're going to have to save a little bit more than that. Even though we can maybe get you some down payment assistance, we definitely really want you to have some skin in the game and save.
Because usually they want at least 1%, right?
At least 1% for some of the programs. But I always urge clients, save 3%, save 5%, as much as you can for your first home. If you really want to get some skin in the game, you got to put some money aside.
So let me ask you, what are the pros and cons of using down payment assistance?
Okay. Well, I can only see pros, right? I only see pros.
I'll tell you some of the cons that I
never share a con.
I mean, I can tell you per my experience what I think are the cons.
And I'll give you the pro.
Okay, so go with the pros.
Okay, give you the pro? Okay,
yes.
I'll give you a pro. A pro is, one, you are reducing the amount of money out of your pocket and having that combined with a program. I think that's one of the number one things with a program. I can give you another pro. Another pro is the fact that some of these programs will allow you to buy down the points or the interest rate, which in this market is very, very helpful for a lot of buyers when they're trying to get the best interest rate possible out there for their term of their mortgage. So those are my two pros.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you my cons.
Your con. Give me a con.
let me give the disclosure.
Okay.
I've done a lot of down payment assistance.
Okay.
But I have not been able to do it in the past 2 years.
Okay.
And the reason why is because of the type of market we're in.
Okay.
Sometimes, and most of the times, people that really need the money, they just don't get the offers. Because you have to disclose that you need down payment assistance.
Okay.
So it has happened to me that my down payment assistant borrowers are in a disadvantage because they're competing with other people. And that would be one of the cons of it, at least to my opinion.
Okay.
What do you have to say about that?
Okay, great. And, that's not the first time I've heard that, right? And I do understand that it's a challenging market for a first-time home buyer when you have a first-time home buyer that may very well not have enough money, right? And they need a little bit of assistance in order to make really that transaction work. And there's this myth out there and this interpretation, if you will, that the programs take long, right? And I will say this, the programs typically don't take long. It's when you have been working with someone that maybe doesn't understand the programs, doesn't know the administrators, doesn't really have a connection to the programs. So that's one. And there's this mindset out there that because they have assistance tied to it, that it's eventually going to fall apart or it's not going to work. Well, I've been doing it for too long.
Yeah.
I've been doing it a while, and I do have a little bit of a challenge sometimes when getting offers accepted by those borrowers. So I would say just to any loan officer, that's a great opportunity to really educate that real estate agent, really educate that buyer as well, and have them understand that the better informed you are about the program and making sure that all parties are involved in maybe a conference call from the real estate agent to, the appraisal to even the administrators of the programs, and just saying, hey, listen, we have a contract here and we want to be able to close this within 45 days. With your program, do you think that's feasible? And making sure that all the parties are in sync and on that call to say, hey, listen, it does work. And I think the more that we as loan officers and even the real estate professionals that might be listening hear that, I think that makes it a better conversation to have, because we really don't want to leave a lot of individuals out of a market where this market could shift in a moment and this borrower could really qualify for a home. And then I would also just say for real estate agents who have had that property on the market 60 days or maybe 90 days and it's not moving, this is an opportunity to let a first-time home buyer purchase that property and close within 45 days. That's how
I think it's lack of information. It just goes as simple as to the regular FHA buyer.
Correct.
Sometimes they don't want to accept FHA buyers because they think the appraiser is going to appraise less.
Right.
Like,
no,
really?
Really?
It doesn't work like that.
That's the way I kind of look at it.
There's a lot of misinformation, in the real estate market.
Right.
Let's put it that way. A lot of, it's just... we need to provide more knowledge.
Knowledge and information.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah, that issue for FHA versus conventional, that's a whole nother topic which can go on and on. Yeah. Well, listen, this was great. I love this. We need to do this more often.
We do.
Not bad
Definitely.
at all.
So what else you want to ask me? We're done? I love your shirt, though.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'll get you one. Don't worry.
Yeah,
It'll say
should.
DPA loan officer or DPA fan.
DPA fam. I like that.
Fan. Love it. DPA
absolutely.
Follower. Love
absolutely.
That. So what else do I want to ask? So how long have you been here now with PRMG?
I think like 7 or 8 years.
7 or 8 years. What
That's
changes have you seen that you personally, as a loan officer, have benefited from?
I think that, I mean, I'm one of the veterans here when
Yep.
Prime Team started.
Yeah.
I think it was, I don't even know the year. Anyways, even though I do mortgages, sometimes my quick math is really bad.
Right. I hear you.
So when I started, it was just like 2 or 3 of us loan officers. And I think it's been a ride where we have grown tremendously.
Yep.
And I believe that the growth that we have experienced is because we have one of the most amazing teams and operations
Absolutely, I
that
agree.
we could ever have,
Yeah.
at least in South Florida.
Yeah.
I really give it to that. I mean, I honestly don't think there's a loan we cannot do.
Right.
If we cannot do it here, it's
Yeah.
because it
Can't be
cannot be done.
Exactly. Absolutely. I agree.
So I think that's, that's what I could say regarding your question.
Okay, very good. So yeah, I'd have to kind of agree there. Definitely, lots of changes over the years, and I think we are only pushing the envelope
Yeah.
more and more, and we only get better as loan officers, but also as a team.
Yeah.
I kind of think we've almost seen it all, to be honest with you, over the last 6-7 years or so that I've been here as well. Seen the market shift and how we as a branch deal with the shift as well, how we educate our loan officers and support our loan officers, but definitely just educate our real estate partners
Yeah.
and the buyers that are looking to either purchase something new or sell their property or even refinance it. So I think, we've seen a lot of great changes, and we're only kind of pushing in the right direction continually.
Absolutely.
So good.
Yep.
What else?
I think we're good.
Think we're good? All right, I think we gave you enough information, man, enough knowledge and stuff that you could probably cut, share, and use or not use.
Exactly.
So take care, everyone.
Thank you.